Jimmy Kimmel has been unleashed. He's uncancelable, he's unfireable, and everybody at Disney knows it. And now they're terrified because Jimmy Kimmel can literally say anything he wants to, and it turns out that Jimmy Kimmel Unleashed is even more vile than the Jimmy Kimmel we saw lie about a national tragedy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You won't believe the clip we have featuring Jimmy Kimmel. He is truly beyond the pale. In fact, I would say, folks, he goes well beyond what is reasonable, civilized even, and we're going to bring it to you in just a moment. As we get ready to do so, click the like button. We're going to explain to you why Jimmy Kimmel cannot be fired by Disney. He is uncancelable. Let's dive in right now. He is the uncancelable now. Jimmy Kimmel has survived in Hollywood, bent Bob Iger over, onto his knees, of course, for the Walt Disney Company and let him know, thank you, Vash, let him know that Jimmy cannot go anywhere. If you don't know this story, they literally, we believe, carted out the furniture from Jimmy Kimmel's show. He was done. And the Hollywood talent agency said, no, you are not allowed to do this. You won't have any more actors, writers, directors. Nobody's going to work for you, Disney, unless you do what we say. We don't care about your ratings. We don't care about the affiliates. We don't care about the advertisers. None of that matters. You will either do this or it's over for the House of Mouse. Bob Iger fell down and said, please, I'll give you Jimmy back. I'll give you my Jimmy back. And so he did. Now, folks, what you need to know is Jimmy Kimmel is uncancelable. There is nothing the man can do that would cause Disney to get rid of him that we can foresee. He might get out there and start sacrificing goats. I don't know. I don't know what he'll do. And God bless the goats. Don't let him have them. Jimmy Kimmel can do just about anything, and there's nothing Disney can do about it because they've already, listen, what is he going to do worse than lying about a national tragedy and then making it all about himself? What is he going to do this worse? So he has been unleashed. If you thought that Jimmy Kimmel was revolting before, folks, you ain't seen nothing yet. Here he is taking on the VP of the United States. I know they got a beef, but the stuff he says is grotesque and unbecoming of not only a Disney employee, but even a late night host. Here he is, not at his worst, because we're not there yet.
Vice President Maybelline was making the rounds, attempting to defend his boss and the chairman of the FCC with a new fairy tale even a 5-year-old wouldn't believe.
Celebrities are rallying to his cause, saying this is a First Amendment assault being carried out by the FCC, Brendan Carr, and by the President of the United States himself. And to that, you say?
Well, there are two things. First of all, I'd like them to tell me exactly what Brendan Carr did to have Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air, because number one, he is currently on the air, and to the extent that he isn't in certain stations, it's because he's not funny and because his ratings aren't very good.
I have some good news for you, J-Dog. We're back on all the stations. And every home, every bar, every strip club, and every prison in America. But, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your bullshit. Go on.
All right, so he calls it BS that the VP says his ratings are down, and he says that they're back on all the stations. Now, do you guys know how they're back on all the stations? Do you guys know how that happened?
Every bar and every strip club,
and
every prison. I think that's what he meant.
The way they did that is reportedly Disney, after they were brought to their knees by the Hollywood talent agencies, Disney apparently, allegedly, started threatening the affiliates, hey, if you don't put Jimmy Kimmel back on the air for us, it's going to be the Super Bowl. You're going to lose the Super Bowl. And that, listen, they can fight that in court, right? The affiliates can. The damage would be forever. Even if you won in court, the damage is forever. So, hey, Jimmy, we've actually got your ratings here, and they're dropping. You were at 0.71 at the height, which was less than half of what The Tonight Show was doing, and you've managed to drop down to 0.16. The last time we got that rating was actually for the 24-25 season. We're in the 25-26 season now. We have had reports that Jimmy Kimmel is down 50% since January, and he dropped 70% in the first week returning. Now, one of the things that you need to know about this, and I'll just show you this real quick, and we'll go back to the monologue. Jimmy Kimmel is being mocked by the Daily Mail Like, he is a cornered animal who has been let loose to be as venomous as he wants to be. This is by Natasha Anderson. Jimmy Kimmel is still droning on about suspension in latest talk show appearance as ratings tank. Goes on to make fun of him that he's still doing this. They've stopped reporting on his ratings. And we told you they would do that. We told you. They came out, they gave the declaration that he skyrocketing on his return. And we all told you, well, that's because everybody tuned in for 15 minutes to find out if he would apologize. And he didn't.
Right. I'd love to see the quarter-hour breakdown on that show also, to see like how the audience falls off as the show goes on.
Absolutely. And guess what, though? Just now, you guys remember this. You don't have to go back so far in your memory. Like a week ago, we told you they would stop reporting the ratings. Marvin, can we find the ratings anywhere? Is anybody reporting the ratings?
I've been looking. I'm not seeing anything about it yet.
Yeah, no ratings. How about that? We got 2 days of ratings. In the second day, he dropped 73% in the demo, and they stopped telling us anything about him. That's it. That's it. So what was that? Why did they do it, folks? Why did they tell us the ratings for 2 days? Day one, because they thought they were going to make the headlines that would trick people. And day two, because they didn't think they'd get a 73% drop in the demo. Let's go back to what Jimmy's up to. Here's more of Jimmy now that we've dissuaded you of believing what he had to say.
Something else that's important here, Laura, which is that these broadcast companies, ABC, NBC, CBS, they enjoy the public airwaves because they serve the public interest. So I actually think that we should be having a conversation about whether these companies are serving the public interest. That's actually totally separate from the Jimmy Kimmel issue because nothing happened to him. He's currently on the air, and to the extent that he's not, it's because advertisers don't like him because his ratings aren't very good.
My ratings aren't very good. Last time I checked, your ratings were somewhere between a hair in your salad and chlamydia. In 3.5 years, I'm not the one who's going to be doing mascara tutorials on YouTube.
I just want to say this, folks. The reason we're playing this is a level of personal vindictiveness and vitriol and nastiness. I mean, that man just listed an STD in a salad to deny reality that we know it is. I mean, he's probably below 0.1. He's probably 0.09 at this point in ratings. He's calling the vice president. I mean, listen, they had a lot of fun with Dan Quayle back in the 80s and 90s, you know, supposedly being a dummy. Of course, nobody at that level is really a dummy, but they had a lot of fun. Dan Quayle can't spell, that kind of thing. We've never had this before. And Disney can't cancel the man anymore because they already did it, and he came back because of the Hollywood agencies. So now he's out there, you know, saying this kind of stuff. Culture, it's actually kind of disgusting. I don't think, you know, this is not going to play well long term. People don't have time for this. The average American tunes in and says, you know what, maybe I don't even agree with J.D. Vance, but we're not going to call him, you know, we're not going to say that his ratings are, I don't even know how you measure the ratings of a VP, but his ratings are comparable to an STD in a salad. It's just yucky. It's just gross.
You know, you used the right word a couple of days ago when we were breaking down the fact that he was going to slide down the flagpole really fast as far as ratings go. And I think they greased it up even more now as he's falling downward. But he's a bully. He does bully comedy. He calls other people bullies. He knows what the word means. He knows, you know, what it is. But he's just a bully. He's mean. He's mean spirited, and he's not funny. Look, you see this in sitcoms, right? And I know this might go an extra minute or two, so please bear with me. But in sitcoms, they have 3 or 4 really creative, good years. They have great stories. They can tell these stories in a new way, maybe. But then they get to the point where they just get mean. The characters get mean to each other in service of comedy. You see that in shows like Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, and a whole lot of these other shows that it started off okay and then got mean. And then eventually the writers have been replaced so many times, and the continuity is broken down, and the internal logic of the show is breaking down, and they marry off on each other and all that. And you end up with something like the end of Friends, where it went on too long, and they held the story too long. The audience just kind of opted out or noped out at the end, you know, and it's just, that's kind of where I feel like Jimmy's at. Jimmy's already noped out. He's using mean-spirited humor. He's not even funny, right? He's you kind of feel bad for him because his mind is so poisoned, but at the same time, it shouldn't be surprising that his ratings are going to collapse. He's at the end of the life cycle of what he's doing.
I want to play it one more time. Let me just play it one more time so people can see this is what's supposed to be funny. It's not. It's actually kind of abusive. I don't use that word lightly. This is kind of abusive language that he's now using against, the people who lead the country. It's untoward. It's uncivilized. We'll play it one more time. And as we do, remember, folks, Disney can't do anything about this anymore. They blew their chance because they caved in to Hollywood, to the talent agencies who said, you're going to put him back on the air. We don't care. He can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. He rules over Disney now.
My ratings aren't very good. Last time I checked, your ratings were somewhere between a hair in your salad and chlamydia. In 3.5 years, I'm not the one who's going to be doing mascara tutorials on YouTube. How did we wind up with a president and a vice president who wear more makeup than Kylie Jenner and Lady Gaga combined?
There you go. That's Jimmy Kimmel. Vash, your thoughts on the uncancelable Kimmel now and what this is going to do to Disney?
He absolutely has been empowered. I think you're astutely pointing out what is really happening, and that is the fact that Jimmy Kimmel is pretty much untouchable now because the Walt Disney Company understands that if they take him off the air for any reason, or maybe they don't even extend his contract, that could be a big deal. I believe his contract was coming up for renewal pretty soon-ish here, so that's going to be very interesting to see how they negotiate those waters right there. It's very interesting because it talks about ratings, and a lot of people have been saying, well, even if the ratings aren't that great, he makes buku bucks. He gets everybody in on his YouTube channel. So I actually went to his YouTube channel and I saw his videos and so forth, and it's a very interesting pattern that is seen right there. For his anti-Trump stuff, they're way up. They're 4 million, 3 million viewers. For everything else, they're way down. So he is definitely a mouthpiece for anti-Trump rhetoric right there. Obviously has made that his brand. And you can see that reflected in the YouTube data, very interesting enough. But a lot of people have been talking about how, oh, look, when he made his triumphant return back to the screen and that monologue that he had on his first day back, I mean, that's one of the most viewed videos of all time on YouTube or whatever, or this year. I had somebody reach out, bro. I didn't tell you about this, but I had somebody reached out who said, hey, I watch YouTube in incognito mode for most of my YouTube consumption. Do that for various reasons, and I'll just have it playing in the background, and whatever happens, happens. And he kept getting through that incognito session auto-played sessions or videos of that Jimmy Kimmel monologue over and over and over again. So
if YouTube wants to give us that kind of benefit, we'll take it. Come on, Disney. We'll be happy to put on the autoplay list. Ron, Disney has a real problem here because this, we should not assume that this is the worst that Jimmy Kimmel is going to be. He can get far worse in the days and the weeks to come. And now Disney doesn't really have the ability to do anything with him.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that perhaps they choose to not extend his contract, or, I mean, they're not making money. They're like, maybe the YouTube channel is making some money, but as far as the show is concerned, they don't have the demo for the advertising that they need to make this work as a regular television show anymore. And he's not funny. He's actually offensive to everybody that's outside of the live studio audience, because they are, when you're in a live studio audience, you kind of act like a trained seal, and they show, hey, laugh. Like, you got the signs in front of you. I've been in those audiences, you kind of do what you're told when you're there, but he's just not a funny personality. I don't remember the last time he was funny. To me, he's still as offensive as he was when he was on the Man Show, and it's just a different type of offense now. And there, like, I don't. Maybe he's not doing makeup tutorials in 3 years on YouTube, but maybe he is the only thing that's left on the MS Now network in 3 years. maybe that's where he goes. I don't know, but it's I just don't see much of a great future for Jimmy Kimmel going forward. I think once all of this stuff dies down from the Charlie Kirk incident, then he's got nothing left. And Disney will be able to let him go at that point in time.
Well, I want to bring on. We'll bring him back in, Marvin. Marvin, I've got an article I want to read. That we're gonna go back in the Wayback Machine. So Marvin, let me put you up here and put me over there. There we go. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the article that I think is going to cause a lot of disgust. All right. The reason you come to this channel, by the way, is because we can bring the receipts. We bring the receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look. Oh, I'll tell you one thing on the receipts. It's looking very much like they're going to announce that Avengers trilogy we told you it was going to be. Receipts. All right, deadline, though. Bruce Herring is the author here. Disney chairman, CEO Bob Iger tells Oprah axing Roseanne Barr was an easy decision. This is all the way back in 2019. I want to show you the juxtaposition, okay? Let's go down and let's get to the quote. Iger said that he didn't think there was any circumstance that would make it right after Roseanne Barr apologized for insulting Valerie Jarrett in an ill and improper joke, okay? But she's a comedian, and she said something that was improper. She says she didn't know the race of Valerie Jarrett, and she said something that was then used in a way she never intended it because she didn't know the race of the person. Okay, so Iger says it took about 5 minutes to know what we had to do. It seemed completely insensitive, completely disrespectful. It was very clear. The decision, it was easy to make. What she had done was very, very clear. I didn't believe any context could make this better or acceptable or could result in us forgiving her. So we did it. And you also know in today's world, if there's a decision to be made, you make it because otherwise the world will make it for you, and that's never good. This is what Bob Iger said about Roseanne Barr after she made a joke that was inappropriate. Marvin, we have Jimmy Kimmel, who lied about a national tragedy in a grotesquely awful way to the point the affiliate said, we can't put this man on air anymore. And you know what? It took more than 5 minutes for Bob Iger to really stress and be in turmoil about what to do about Kimmel. Marvin, Bob Iger's a bad guy, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, not only did Bob Iger say that, Jimmy Kimmel himself said about Roseanne when she was fired that it was deserved and that ABC made the right call by pulling her off the air. Even the only difference between Roseanne and Jimmy Kimmel in these situations is that Roseanne's show actually had good ratings. So Disney actually took a bath on firing Roseanne, whereas with Jimmy Kimmel, getting rid of him was no big deal for them on a financial level. The stock dip was negligible from people canceling Disney Plus. And of course, a lot of those cancellations have to do more with the fact that Disney hiked the price up yet again while hiding it within this Jimmy Kimmel situation. So yeah, Bob Iger is the hypocrite of the highest order. Because at the end of the day, if Kimmel is back, then Roseanne should have been back. And then Roseanne alleges that not only was she fired, but that Barack and Michelle Obama called Bob Iger directly to have her fired. So you want to talk about the FCC? This was at the time sitting president of the United States calling in specifically to have somebody fired.
Yep. One more time, folks. And the reason we went to the Roseanne Barr thing, because we want to elevate the conversation in a way that you just don't find anywhere else, okay? This is what we're trying to say to you. This panel and everybody here, we're pointing this out to you right now. What Roseanne Barr said that got her fired over Valerie Jarrett, that took 5 minutes for Bob Iger to decide to do it, is not as offensive as the jokes that Jimmy Kimmel is now making, and Disney can do nothing about it. I'll play it one more time, and you decide. Is he more offensive than Roseanne Barr?
My ratings aren't very good. Last time I checked, your ratings were somewhere between a hair in your salad and chlamydia. In 3.5 years, I'm not the one who's going to be doing mascara tutorials on YouTube. How did we wind up with a president and a vice president who wear more makeup than Kylie Jenner and Lady Gaga combined?
That's your Disney comedian. That's your Disney not so funny man. Folks, it's time to bid you adieu, but we hope that you will help us anew, and that is, we're only asking you click that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. it is the notification bell and drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, have you gone the way of thatparkplace.com? www.thatparkplace.com. It's the website that if you're not yet bookmarked to, well, you should be. A bastion of truth and knowledge when it comes to entertainment and everything that's going on. Go check it out today, folks. We would love to have you over there as well. All right, we are getting ready to head out, but do not fret, for we will put out 4 more videos tomorrow, so long as the good Lord allows. And we believe that probably, just might, happen. All right, until the next time we get to share time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
So I give them cannonball.
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.